The first rays of sunlight pierce through the thick coastal fog this morning. High up on an old, weathered mangrove branch, a shadow stirs softly. It is a Brahminy kite, its keen eyes scanning the waking landscape. The air is cool, damp, and perfectly still as the world awakens. Suddenly, a large bird breaks cover from the reeds along the shoreline. The kite leans forward, instantly locking its sharp gaze onto the target. With a powerful push of its legs, the raptor launches into the air. Its broad, chestnut wings catch a faint morning breeze, carrying it upward. It begins to circle, gaining height while keeping the target in sight. The larger bird below flies across the open water, unaware of danger. The Brahminy kite adjusts its feathers, narrowing its angle for a dive. It pulls its wings tight against its body, entering a steep stoop. The speed of the descent increases rapidly as gravity pulls it down. Wind rushes past its white head, but its focus remains completely unbroken. The target bird suddenly notices the closing shadow and tries to evade. It swerves hard to the left, beating its heavy wings frantically. But the Brahminy kite moves with incredible agility, correcting its path midair. With a massive sweep of its tail, it matches the desperate maneuver. The distance between hunter and prey vanishes in a fraction of a second. Powerful yellow talons thrust forward, breaking through the cool morning air. There is a sharp impact, a brief flurry of feathers over water. The kite grapples securely with the surprisingly large, struggling avian prey. Both birds lose altitude rapidly, nearly touching the choppy water surface. With an intense burst of strength, the kite beats its wings downward. It forces its way back upward, carrying the heavy load aloft. The struggle continues in midair, but the kite's grip is vice-like. It heads directly toward a sturdy lookout point on the shore. Landing heavily on a thick branch, the kite balances its prize. It spreads its wings wide in a mantle to hide its meal. Its chest heaves deeply from the immense physical effort of the hunt. This rare, dramatic catch highlights the lethal capability of this species. Though often viewed as mere scavengers, they are formidable apex predators. The morning hunt is over, and a deep quiet returns. Now, let us step back to explore the broader life here. Understanding the Brahminy kite requires looking deeply into its daily existence. These birds belong to the family Accipitridae, along with many eagles. They are medium-sized raptors, radiating a sense of compact, elegant power. An adult stands out vividly against almost any natural background habitat. Their snow-white head and breast provide a stunning, majestic physical contrast. The rest of their body is washed in deep, rich chestnut. In flight, the dark tips of their primary feathers become clear. Juveniles look entirely different, covered in mottled browns and dull creams. It takes them nearly 2 full years to attain adult plumage. This gradual transition marks their journey from vulnerable fledglings to masters. In the wild, their life expectancy can reach 12 to 15 years. Under optimal environmental conditions, some individuals survive even longer than that. Their daily lives revolve entirely around territorial management and foraging loops. They are highly acoustic birds, frequently uttering a nasal, wheezy call. This piercing cry echoes across waterways, warning rivals to stay away. Brahminy kites are fundamentally monogamous, forming strong, enduring pair bonds. These partnerships often last through multiple consecutive breeding seasons over years. Together, the pair defends a specific, resource-rich stretch of coastline. Nesting occurs high up in sturdy trees, usually near open water. Mangroves, casuarinas, and large eucalyptus trees are highly favored nesting sites. The nest itself is a large platform constructed of loose sticks. They line the inner bowl with softer materials like bark pieces. Sometimes, they even incorporate bits of cloth or debris found nearby. A typical clutch consists of 2 white, subtly speckled oval eggs. Both parents share duties, though the female does most incubation work. For roughly 30 days, she keeps the precious eggs warm and safe. During this anxious period, the male diligently brings her fresh food. Once the chicks hatch, their demands for nourishment skyrocket instantly. The parents work tirelessly, flying countless hunting sorties every single day. They feed the young a varied diet of fish, insects, and meat. This intensive care continues until the young fledge at 8 weeks. Even after fledgling, the young birds depend on parents for weeks. They must learn the complex art of hunting before independence arrives. Culturally, the Brahmini kite holds immense spiritual significance across Asia. In Indonesia, it is tightly linked to the mythical bird Garuda. It represents power, freedom, and a divine connection to upper realms. In India, it is seen as the sacred vehicle of Vishnu. Reverence for the bird helps protect it from active human persecution. Where do these magnificent creatures actually spend their daily lives? Their geographical distribution is vast, spanning several massive, diverse regions. They are native to the Indian subcontinent, thriving across its plains. Their range extends across the entirety of tropical Southeast Asia. They are also found throughout the coastal areas of northern Australia. Within these massive territories, they focus strictly on specific wet habitats. They are primarily coastal residents, rarely venturing far into deep islands. Mangrove swamps are perhaps their absolute favorite ecosystem to inhabit daily. The dense roots provide shelter, while tidal flats offer endless food. Estuaries and large river mouths are also heavily populated by them. They cruise over brackish water where marine life is highly concentrated. They are equally comfortable around inland freshwater wetlands and lakes. Large flooded rice paddies attract them in massive numbers during spring. The shallow water makes finding frogs and small fish very easy. Interestingly, they adapt remarkably well to heavily modified human environments. They frequent busy fishing harbors, waiting for discarded scraps from boats. They can even be seen circling over urban dumps near coasts. This high flexibility allows them to survive where other raptors fail. However, they generally avoid thick, unbroken inland rainforest canopies entirely. They require expansive, open-air spaces to hunt effectively using sight. Arid deserts are also out of the question for this water-loving bird. They are bound to moisture, where their primary prey thrives naturally. Let us turn our attention to their fascinating, diverse diet. The Brahmini kite is an ultra-opportunistic feeder with broad tastes. They do not restrict themselves to one single type of hunting. Scavenging forms a very significant portion of their daily food intake. They glide low over beaches, picking up dead fish washed ashore. Animal carcasses left by tide lines are consumed with great enthusiasm. But as we saw this morning, they are genuine, active hunters. Live fish swimming near the water surface are a prime target. The kite skims the water, plucking fish with pinpoint claw accuracy. Crabs crawling along exposed mudflats are snatched up effortlessly too. They use their nimble feet to break the hard crab shells. Small rodents, like mice and voles, are hunted in grasslands. They drop silently from perches onto prey moving through the grass. Large insects, such as grasshoppers and beetles, are caught mid-air. During termite swarms, multiple kites will gather to feast together openly. They twist and turn gracefully, grabbing the insects with their feet. Amphibians like frogs and small lizards are regularly snatched from swamps. And occasionally, they turn their sights toward other bird species aggressively. They target injured, weak, or young birds that cannot fly fast. Taking down a large, healthy bird requires exceptional timing and positioning. It happens most often when alternative food sources are scarce here. They also practice kleptoparasitism, which is the stealing of food. They harass smaller fish eagles, gulls, and terns in mid-air relentlessly. They force the other bird to drop its freshly caught meal. Before the dropped fish hits water, the kite dives to catch it. This cunning behavior saves them massive amounts of precious hunting energy. Why do all the hard work when you can steal it? Now, let us examine their flight capabilities and speeds in detail. The Brahmini kite is built for sustained, energy-efficient soaring over landscapes. Their wingspan ranges between 110 and 125 centimeters. This provides an extensive surface area relative to their body weight. During relaxed, casual cruising flight, their speed is quite modest. They float along at roughly 30 to 40 kilometers per hour. At this speed, they can survey vast territories without getting exhausted. They utilize rising thermal air currents to stay aloft for hours. With barely a single wing beat, they hold position over shores. However, when they spot prey, their speed dynamic shifts completely. In an active pursuit, they can accelerate up to 50 kilometers. Their wing beats become deep, rapid, and incredibly rhythmic and strong. When entering a true hunting stoop or dive, they accelerate faster. Gravity assists them as they drop out of the bright sky. During these intense dives, they can reach 75 kilometers per hour. While not as blindingly fast as a peregrine falcon, it is lethal. The combination of speed and silent approach ensures total tactical surprise. Their true secret weapon is maneuverability, not just raw straight speed. The fan-shaped tail acts as an extraordinarily sensitive, responsive air rudder. It allows them to change direction in a fraction of a second. This enables them to snatch agile fish just below the surface. It also lets them outmaneuver other birds in dense mangrove branches. They can stall midair, hover briefly, and then drop straight down. This mastery of flight mechanics makes them incredibly successful coast hunters. Now, let us discuss a highly controversial topic, falconry training. Can a Brahmini kite actually be trained to hunt by humans? The short answer is yes, but it is incredibly difficult. Historically, they have been kept in various falconry traditions across Asia. However, master falconers generally do not consider them prime hunting partners. True falcons and hawks possess a single-minded drive to chase game. Brahmini kites, because of their intelligence, are highly calculating creatures. They always weigh the energy cost of hunting against the reward. If a target looks too hard, they simply choose to ignore it. They prefer to scavenge rather than expend huge energy chasing live animals. This mindset presents massive challenges during the training process for handlers. Training begins with establishing a foundation of absolute mutual trust. Wild raptors view humans as dangerous apex predators to be avoided. Breaking this fear requires days of patient, quiet manning by handlers. The bird must sit on the leather glove for hours on end. It must get used to human voices, movements, and everyday sights. Force or punishment must never be used with a raptor at all. It will completely ruin the relationship and cause the bird to retreat. Positive reinforcement through food rewards is the only effective method available. The next critical step is precision weight management for the bird. A falconer must weigh the kite daily on a precise scale. If the bird is too heavy, it will feel completely content. It will refuse to fly to the glove or look for targets. It will simply sit in a tree and ignore the trainer completely. If it is too light, it will become weak and exhausted. Finding the exact flying weight requires careful tracking of food intake daily. Once weight is stable, training moves to food association mechanics. The bird learns that meat always comes directly from the glove. It begins by taking food while standing right on the leather. Slowly, the trainer moves the food a few inches away sequentially. The bird must hop across to receive its small food reward. Over days, this distance increases from hops to long flights inside. To ensure safety, initial outdoor flights use a creance line. A creance is a long, lightweight safety cord attached to legs. It prevents the untrained bird from flying away into the woods. The kite learns to fly across open fields to the whistle. When it consistently returns without hesitation, free flight can begin safely. This is a terrifying moment for any falconer training a bird. There is absolutely nothing holding the bird back from total freedom. It relies entirely on the psychological bond and food expectation created. Teaching a Brahmini kite to hunt for you is another challenge. Falconers use a specialized training tool called a hunting lure. The lure is a padded leather object shaped loosely like prey. Fresh meat is tied securely to the center of this lure. The trainer swings the lure in wide circles to catch attention. The kite must dive from a tree and strike it cleanly. This builds up the vital muscles needed for striking live targets. Because of their specific natural diet, their hunting training focuses on water. In traditional settings, they were trained to take fish from lakes. The handler stands by the shore, identifying movement in shallow water. The kite launches from the glove, diving to scoop the fish. It then returns to the handler to share the fresh catch. They can also be trained to follow handlers walking through fields. As the human walks, grasshoppers and small rodents are flushed out. The kite swoops down from above, capturing the moving targets instantly. However, their independent, stubborn nature means they often wander away. If they spot an easy piece of carrion, they abandon you. They will drop down to eat a dead frog, ignoring whistles. For this reason, modern falconers rarely use them for competitive hunting. They are kept more for educational displays and flight demonstrations worldwide. Their beautiful soaring style makes them an absolute crowd favorite everywhere. In the modern world, conservation laws must be strictly respected. Taking a Brahmini kite from the wild is completely illegal globally. They are protected under international treaties to prevent population collapse. Legitimate birds used in education come from specialized breeding facilities. They are raised from chicks, totally accustomed to human presence daily. Wild populations face significant threats from habitat destruction and pollution. The clearance of coastal mangroves removes their primary hunting areas. Water pollution reduces the number of healthy fish available to catch. Plastic debris in oceans can also be ingested by mistake easily. Protecting these coastal ecosystems is vital for their long-term survival. Seeing one hunt successfully brings immense joy to nature lovers. It connects us directly to the ancient, raw rhythms of nature. The dramatic strike we saw this morning proves their enduring resilience. Even as human cities expand, these kites find ways to hunt. They remain masters of the fragile interface between land and sea. Their white heads will continue to gleam brightly in mornings. They circle high above, keeping watch over their shifting domains. Understanding them deeper allows us to appreciate their complex ecological role. They are cleaners, hunters, and symbols of pure aerial grace combined. As the sun rises higher, the morning mist burns away completely. Our kite finished its meal, cleaning its beak on bark carefully. It shakes its feathers out, settling back into relaxed watchfulness. Another day has truly begun along this rich, vibrant shoreline. The sky is wide open, waiting for its next elegant flight. We leave the kite there, resting quietly in the warm breeze. A true testament to the wonder of the wild world around. May they always fly free, soaring high on the thermals. Their legacy is written in the wind and coastal waves below. Thank you for listening closely to this detailed life story today. Keep your eyes on the skies, forever searching the horizon.